Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net, and today we're taking a look at DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight Robin. Yes, Robin. Finally Robin is out. I feel like it's taken a little while for this particular wave to come out, and I could not be happier with this wave so far from DC Collectibles. Like I said in the Nightwing review, I was really surprised with the Nightwing figure, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be as surprised and pleased with Robin as I am with Nightwing. And I'm trying to not be biased in this review. Of course, being a big Tim Drake fan, and being a fan of the Arkham games, and of course being a Robin's fan, sometimes the Robin blinders come on, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So I have heard some people kind of point out some things that they don't like about the figure, but for the most part, I do really like the figure, just from what I've seen online and from people's posts on Facebook. I've been trying to get away from the box part of the review and just kind of show you what the figure looks like in the box, but it's Robin. So this is my way of kind of saying, unless the package changes, I'm probably not going to be showing the box, and here's what the back of the box looks like, here's what the side of the box. Genuinely, all these boxes are going to be exactly the same. I think I'll still put up a still image so you can at least see the figure in the box, but I won't spend too much time going over the box as I kick the camera. Just because we want to see the actual figure move and everything like that. But since it is Robin, we'll show here. Here's the grid work of Robin. Now, this is the odd part. I half wonder when the figure was getting designed if Rocksteady was like, yeah, we're going to have Robin with his hood up, and then decided partway through that they were going to go with his hood off. I don't mind the hood off. Some people don't like, you know, the skinhead look or the shaved head look, but it doesn't bother me. Hood up's fine, hood down's fine. The hood up for me, I'll get into it when we look at the figure. It looks a little odd. I just don't think they do hooded figures very well. So when they're going with the design of Robin in the Arkham Knight with his hood down, I don't understand why they made the figure with the hood up when he never appears with it with his hood up, only in the Batgirl DLC for just like 30 seconds, and then he takes his hood down. So here's the rest of the wave here. We can see the Robin wire armature in the back here. This is Series 2. Of course, we've already taken a look at Nightwing. We have Robin here. Catwoman is a 7th figure, but Robin and Commissioner Gordon, the 8th figure, were released today. So it's a little odd. And there's
So you
Robin's
can see
name
the
there.
bullet
You can shield and the other accessories that are there. One other thing to denote with this particular wave in Series 2, so far Robin and Commissioner Gordon are the only 2 figures with interchangeable hands. I have not seen Catwoman with an interchangeable hand in the, you know, San Diego Comic-Con released photos of them. I knew Robin and Gordon did, so it's kind of cool that in the Arkham line, this is the first that we have interchangeable hands. So the animated series figures have the interchangeable hands, so I was kind of wondering when we were going to get interchangeable hands and different accessories like that. I'm kind of surprised Batman didn't have any, but so that's it for the box portion of the review. Let's get in. I cannot wait to get this figure open. We'll be right back and taking a look at the Batman Arkham Knight Robin figure. I normally don't show the packaging, the inner packaging, very often unless it's something odd or unique. They have really harnessed Robin in this packaging. I've never seen them do this where they're going up over the shoulder and underneath the arm to wire him in here. He's got 2 here, and 2 at the feet. That's an odd way to do that. I know they're keeping the figure in there so it's not flopping around and so somebody can't steal it, but just trying to get it out of the package in general is just a pain in the butt. So, and this is vacuum formed in here really well, so just be careful as always when you're pulling your figures out. Sometimes, like I said, I'll cut, you know, relief marks so I can kind of rip the plastic a little bit. So just kind of wanted to show you that. So we'll be right back once I get this guy out of package. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long. All right, I've had a chance to play around with him a little bit, and I'm trying to take my Robin goggles off, and I think I have. That being said, I really, really like this figure. There are very few things that I don't like about it. And what they have done here, I think, is made a really, really solid figure. He is right on par with articulation with Batman, tit for tat, as it were, in one little spot, which I thought was going to be problematic. Initially, I didn't think he had this piece of articulation. I'll get into that in just a moment. But aesthetically, he looks great. The green might be a little too bright. I might have muted that just a little. That being said, I think the cape could have been just a touch brighter. The one thing I definitely would have changed is the hood on Robin. I do not think it's needed. He does look like he's slightly hunched a little bit, and I think that's due to the hood being on him. I mean, it's sculpted decent enough. I think we've kind of said before in some other reviews, I'll bring the Arkham City Robin up here. The hood is always just an odd thing to sculpt on someone, even doing a cloth. The hood does make it look like he's really like hunched down a little bit, and I think that's just due into the shoulders here as well. But his face is, I think his face is pretty solid. It has a good amount of, character to his face. His eyes are straight, which is a plus. I might give the nod to the Arkham City Robin's eyes just a little bit. I think they're a little bit more piercing and, bluer. These are actually, black here. I don't think Tim's eyes were ever supposed to be blue, but that's how they did it in the Arkham City. I like the face sculpt. He doesn't have the pouting face that Nightwing does, or the pink lips. So I think as far as the face and lips and nose go on Robin, I think this is probably one of the better sculpts. I'm not saying it's the best sculpt, but it's one of the better ones so far in the line. I love the burgundy and the red. The yellow are there. I like the touches of black that they put into the costume. The utility belt looks really good. I love the updated costume over the Arkham City costume. I've said before that the Arkham City Robin cape was way too short. I like this little moon piece right here, just to give it a little bit of extra character in Robin's cape. You can see the gauntlet detail there. Again, right on par with the video game. All the striation lines that are in here are exactly correct. He has the correct number of pouches, 3 to one side, 3 to the other, and he does have 2 small to the back. The back detail, again, this is something that they could chintz out on and kind of half do. We really don't see character model of what the back of Robin's costume, but I bet if there was one, they got this exactly from Rocksteady. Just, again, a really, really solid figure. And probably no surprise, he's one of my favorites now in the line. Red Hood is really, he might be just a touch more my favorite than Robin, surprise. But just really, really good. Let's get into the articulation on this guy. Make up my mind here. The head can move. Now, I want a second figure for one reason. Somebody may think it's, a silly. I want another one so I could take the hood off. Now, somebody may be saying, well, since we know that he doesn't have a hood on in the game, why don't you just take it off? To me, this is how he came. This is how I'm going to leave him, even though I'm going to repaint the Arkham Knight. Being a Robin fan, I don't want to mess with the figure. I want to buy a second one in case I screw something up. At least I have, a perfect intact one. But I think it'll be really easy to. You can kind of see the seam right here. Just take like an X-Acto knife and cut away this back portion. Or maybe I could even leave just a little bit of it just to give the representation of the hood. I've seen some people pull this back. Now, the one thing is I have him off frame here. He does have hair underneath here. So it's really kind of hard to do. I apologize. I'm probably going to lose all the light. And the interesting thing is they sculpted, or they colored the inside of the hood yellow. So you can see his hair is right there. So his buzz cut. If you don't like it, some people do like him with the hood, so you could have him like that. I just don't know why. The head moves in here, so I could turn it left and right, and it moves a heck of a lot easier than the Arkham City head did. So it's hard to get the full range. The head does, he can look down, so you can peel this back a little bit more. So there he is with the hood back. So you can kind of see. And they shaded in the head. A little bit of the blonde that maybe is kind of showing through. See a little bit from the yellow coming through where it's rubbing. So that's the other part that's kind of, it's rubbing on the yellow on the inside of the hood is rubbing off. So I'm assuming the head can look down. It's really kind of hard to get to move. So there you can see he's looking down there. The hood is preventing him from being able to look up. I don't know, again, because I can't see the back part of the head, to be able to know, like, oh, it's not going to move at all. But you did see it was moving left and right. The arms, let's get this back out now that we're out of the way of the head. Arms go up about a 90 degree, and they can almost go all the way up. I thought I had this other one up a little bit more. So that's pretty good. The arms are on the ball and socket, so they go all the way around. Swivel with the bicep. Double jointed elbows. I was really hoping he was going to. I think we knew that going into this figure he was going to. Has a decent ab crunch. I mean, actually, he has a really good ab crunch. I haven't had him bent that far forward yet, so you can kind of see what's going on in the back there. So that's really good. This is actually better than Batman's ab crunch. He doesn't go back that much at all because of the way this is cut back here. So that's fine. I mean, I would like to... He can arch his back a little bit. Not too bad. But this ab crunch forward works rather well. This is the part of the articulation in the waist. He turns ever so slightly, and what's getting in the way is the utility belt. So I'm surprised they didn't do... I think it's Batman. I'll have to get him up here. But I thought he turned up here and below the belt. Not entirely sure. But, so that's a miss right there that he can't turn. I bet if I put some extra pressure in it, I could. But his side of his, as I'm having him off frame here, sorry. The side of his waist is rubbing up against the utility belt. So there's the T-jointed legs. No clear. Pegs, excellent. Legs go forward really, really well. The Arkham Knight cannot get that far forward. Both legs can. Be great to have a Batmobile. I want a 6-inch scale Arkham Knight Batmobile. We've got the animated series one. Why not? Has the upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees. And what I love about the double jointed knees is the knee pad hides where that is. So, but the other thing is, it kind of, getting the knee bent, it does show that little spot there, but standing straight, I think that's really kind of cool. No swivel in the boot anywhere. Has the ankle hinge and rocker. Solid figure. Wow. The more I'm playing around with him, his articulation is great. I love the cape. A dull yellow. Could have been a little bit brighter. I would have probably made it this little bit brighter spot in the utility belt there, the more glossy. And that's the other thing too, the difference in the paints that they're using. They have a nice gloss green finish here, then they have a muted matte green with a black wash over top of it. They have the shiny gold with a black wash over it, and then a nice flat yellow, more of a mustard color with a black wash over top of it. So there is just a lot that they have going on in this figure. The blacks is a nice flat black, the maroon red, and there's different shades of red going on in here, at least 3 or 4 different colors of red, and they all complement each other very well. I'm really talking this into being my favorite figure from the series. So he comes with a ton of accessories. He comes with the front part of his bullet shield, and I was wondering how they were going to do this. So much like Nightwing's, they gave us different variations of this. The Arkham City one was just a straight black piece. They sculpted the R in there, which is great. Put all of the grooves and the metallic markings. It's like a gunmetal. I think the staff might be a tad too short, or maybe it's giving the illusion that it's short because of the break in the staff that's retracted here. And here is a closed version that he carries around with him. He could use more like a baton. So, and they're both the same size there, at least in the, you know, the grip part. And then the cool thing is, if you just want to use the staff normal, or if you want to like activate the bullet shield, the cool thing is this pops right in place. And this hinges in here too, so that's pretty cool. Actually, I don't know if it was, oh, and actually pegs out. So I don't know why you would want that pegged in and out, but I guess you could. Bear with me just for a moment. So yeah, I am, the more I'm playing around with this, the more I'm really, really liking the figure. So we can hold on to it. Now I haven't had, the problem with Nightwing and Robin too, the hands are so stiff. I just pulled him right out of package for the review, so I didn't do the boil water trick. It's going to be really hard to put. Now, a staff should be able to fit. So a staff can fit in there. Here's the closed version. So I bet if I worked with it enough, pardon me for doing this on camera, so I can fit that down in there, and then probably just do it like. There we go. So there we go. There's with the bullet shield as it just came off. So it's a little tricky to get this in here. Pardon me one moment. I actually think that little tab that you saw popping in and out, I don't think it's supposed to pop in and out. I don't know if it was glued or the glue didn't take. I do actually believe the staff is too small. There should be more of the staff, protruding. So here's the Arkham City staff. So you can see the length of it here. This is probably the length that it should have been. I like what they did here. The staff doesn't look too bad, just him holding it normally, but this is the Arkham City staff. Even though it's not colored, I believe this is more of the correct length, so you can kind of see it right there, that it's clearly a little bit too short. It's not a deal breaker, but I do believe it should have been just another inch or so on each end. I think it would have looked perfect, but it still works very well. And holding it here without the bullet shield attached to it, I don't think it looks at all that bad. Again, just using a frame of reference. So if I just do one end there, you can kind of see how much longer the Arkham City staff is. This little piece that you see right here, this little armature, I guess for lack of a better word, doesn't move. So I do think this was supposed to be glued in and the glue just didn't take. So that'll be an easy, quick super glue fix, because it was kind of hard to put the staff in here as this piece was kind of always moving around, and it was making it really hard to keep the bullet shield attached to it because this wanted to keep falling out. So let's look at some of the other accessories here. Let's take out, actually what we'll do, if I can get it out here, we'll take off Robin's hands, which first time I'm doing this, so hopefully I don't break him on camera here. There we go. So they come right out with a little nub there to kind of keep it from sliding out. So you've got a hand that can hold the batarang. That should just twist right in. There's the popping sound. And they are hinged, so I didn't go through that and the articulation, which is really nice. So there's a rotation and a hinge there, and all of them. He comes with his wing ding, as it's called in the game. And you can hold that in either of the hands. Can hold on to it rather well, because I keep having him off camera there. Looks really good. And then he has an open palmed hand that you could have in. So he doesn't have anything to hold, but I guess it would be just a nice hand to have, maybe just for balance if you're trying to do some ACBA type stuff, that maybe he's springing off the ground. So it's cool just maybe just to have an opened, more relaxed hand. So I think this is really pretty cool. We'll put the smaller bow staff in his wrist. It's really tight. I think doing the hot water trick will loosen up the staff, or the hand a little bit more for the staff. As I probably have him all over here. I am really, really digging this figure. Again, the more when I'm playing with it, I've seen some people say that the head might be a little bit too big, but I think the head appears a little bit bigger because of the hood. It might be a touch too big, but man, I'm loving this figure. So I apologize right now. This review is probably going to be a little bit longer. Let's do some comparisons to his Arkham City counterparts. Wow. Night and day, literally night and day out of these two figures. What a difference almost 3 years makes in between action figures. You can see by the hood here how squishy this is. He did have sculpted hair here also as well, which I actually have a second one of these, which I'll show in just a second. I have the Harley Quinn's Revenge version, which it's an updated paint scheme. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the two costumes, I wish that they had done this costume in the very beginning for Arkham City. I had said before, this costume just didn't quite seem to finish. Looked like he was wearing cargo pants. I just didn't think as more protected as Batman was in the game, that Robin should be as protected as Batman is. And now that Tim's fully covered, I like the utility belt much better. I never really liked the silver shin guards and the, pastel green on his gauntlets on the city. And then for Harley Quinn's Revenge, they repainted him and darkened him up a little bit. So gone are the pastel greens. Now it's more of a dark forest green. The black's more of a gloss. The cargo pants are now darker, and like I said, there's the more the forest green there. So this is the one that I've had standing on my shelf. But next to the Arkham Knight figure, Robin must have grown, considerably. I mean, just looking at the two side by side, Robin is clearly a head taller than the Arkham City Robin. So, yeah, we're talking about scale and figures not fitting in, and about the Icons line. Even in their own Arkham line, the figures are out of scale. So I'll be interested to see how Robin looks with the rest of the Bat family. So since we're talking about the Bat family, let's see what Robin looks like with everyone else. Now, looking at the heads here, I can see, now that we have Batman here, I have Batman in the back just a little bit, and Robin's head is bigger than Batman's head. It's not a huge deal breaker. In some ways, Batman's head almost looks too small, or is it Robin's head looks too big? Too is probably the wrong word. I don't think it's too of anything. They're just out of scale with each other. I might go more of Batman's head is too small. I don't know. It's maybe it's Robin's head's too small. I want to blame it on the hood, but you can clearly see the jawline between the two, and they are noticeably different in size. So maybe we'll see how Robin looks with Nightwing before we bring up everybody in a shot together. You know, even Nightwing's head is a little... I think Nightwing's head is better size than what Batman's head was. But yeah, Robin's head is a little big. Again, I don't think it's a huge deal breaker. Again, my Robin goggles are off, so I can clearly see that the head is probably a little bit too big for his body. But at the same time, I don't mind it. I think it's just in... the hood is messing with it too. Again, like I said, I can clearly tell, you know, the jaw lines. One is clearly bigger than the other. These two are not so bad as Batman was to Robin. Tim does appear to be just a little bit taller than Dick. So I think for most people, Dick Grayson should be the taller because he's older. But, you know... I have seen some 16-year-olds or 17-year-olds that are taller than, you know, 20 or 25 years old. So, again, it's not bothering me too much. Let's see what he looks like with the red hood. Now, of course, with Jason being in this hood here, we really can't see, you know, their faces too well. So, at least as far as the two figures go, I can kind of do it like this there. Robin's head is almost the same size as the Red Hood helmet there. But again, it's not overly, like, abnormally large. I think with Batman, it does make it seem more that way. Red Hood is taller than Robin and Nightwing both. And Batman is the tallest out of the bunch. So let's get a nice family shot here of everyone together. And there's the Bat family. All that's missing is Oracle, which I believe she's going to get a figure in 2016, along with a Batgirl. From what we're being told, it's going to be a 2-pack of Batgirl and Oracle, so that's going to be fantastic. But Nightwing, Batman, Robin, and the Red Hood all look great together. I am completely happy with each one of these figures. Their scale is off from the Arkham City figures to all their Arkham counterparts, with the exception, I think, of Batman is the only one that has maintained his size throughout the whole entire Arkham series. But they look great together. And it's nice, though, that if you have like the Arkham City Penguin and you want to pose him with Robin or Red Hood or Nightwing or Batman, that the Penguin is still going to be in scale because he's so small. So it's not like the Joker is going to shrink in size. Aesthetically, they're going to look okay, but just the size from their counterparts is a little odd between Robin and Nightwing. I don't understand why they enlarged them, but I'm glad they did. I think they work just a little bit better being in bigger size. I'm completely happy with the Robin figure. I'll be kind of excited to get a second one just so I can do a hoodless version of Robin, and I'll probably actually end up using the hoodless version to stand. And for some reason, if I decide, well, I want to pose him with the hood again, then I'll have a backup figure. So today we've been taking a look at the 6th figure, if I have that correct. Yes, the 6th figure. If you don't count the Red Hood, then technically Robin would be 7. But the 6th figure from DC Collectibles in the Batman Arkham Knight line, sculpted by the Gentle Giants. And I think this is a great looking figure. I was kind of worried hearing that some people liked him, some people didn't. Everything looks great on the figure. I have no loose anything syndrome, so I apologize for the long review, but you kind of knew I was going to spend a little bit more time with Robin. Today we've been taking a look at Robin from the Arkham Knight line from DC Collectibles. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net signing off saying we will see you guys next time.